double coverage.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the great man Sauce. What's happening, mate?
Not much, man. Not much. Just recharging the batteries after the big show on the weekend, the Hobby Hangouts, which we will, delve into and give our thoughts
It was
and
a big show.
opinions on the show a bit later in Hobby Talk. But yeah, other than that, back to another week at work, the usual stuff. So, what can we say, mate? What can we say? It's another week, same old stuff, but still plenty of action happening in sports world, Doma, and we'll go over
Always.
that throughout the show. But yourself, you been well?
Yeah, I'm good. Always good. It was a big show indeed. It was great catching up with a lot of people. We'll talk a bit more about that, like you said, when we get to Hobby Talk, on the approach we took to this Hobby Hangout. It was very different to the approach we've taken past shows. And you know what? I actually loved it. I'm not sure your feelings. We'll get to that at Hobby Talk. But yes, a lot of sports been happening. Basketball still plugging along. What else? I was actually going to... the AFL draft is on tomorrow. So it runs across 3 nights. So we'll be able to cover that next week once the draft picks are settled. Rumor on the street is North is looking to trade pick 2 for pick 4 and a second rounder. So if it's open to anyone, that's what they're looking like. Hello, Global. Hopefully you're feeling better. I saw that you were in hospital for something, mate. So hopefully you've recovered. Looked a bit dead on your life. Yeah, we did the Hobby Talk late in the day to try and avoid all that congestion.
Yeah, it just wasn't possible. If we did that in the first hour, we wouldn't have been able to get around to anyone. It was just impossible. Obviously,
Exactly.
Shout out Dan Howe Cards on IG. He's tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. And look who it is. Mr. Hawthorne himself that goes for the Hawthorne Hawks from Florida. How are you, Kevin? Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, look, Global, we will say it did look dead, but I said on the live, we're doing this the back half of the show just because it was just too hard to get around with the venue and the space and the amount of people that were there. If we tried to do it earlier on in the day, it just would have been too difficult to even get around and chat to the amount of people that we ended up chatting to in the end. And it was good fun. It was good fun overall, but we'll talk a bit more about it in Hobby Talk.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned to see the full rundown. We'll get to that. It did rain. It was brief. It wasn't too much at the show. All right, NBA to start with it. Source. The first thing off the top of the at the top of the show, we have to give a congratulations to a guy. And I'm not being cheeky when I say this, but I'm being dead serious. James Harden, second all-time threes in NBA history. Huge achievement. Just looking back, I know he might not win a chip in his career. He's come close to getting to the finals a few times, and he's just come up a bit short. But let's just rewind a little bit in his history as a basketball player when he was at the Houston Rockets as the main man, and what he was doing there after being traded from Oklahoma to the Rockets. Bro, unbelievable stuff. He genuinely carried the franchise for, I think it was like 6 seasons, triple doubles, big numbers. It was just unbelievable. So, yeah, big shout out to him. He's a great player and he'll go down as one of the best players I've seen play in my lifetime. He's a great player.
No doubt, Doma. He is a great player. He's just, I think it's more effective. He's been just unfortunately in the situation where he was there in Houston, just, as the sole guy, he couldn't get the right support around him to get that next step. I think they made a Western Conference Finals and they got beat. There were, he was one series away from potentially playing in a final series. And overall, he's had a great career. I mean, you can't deny that. You know, he was a off the bench guy. Don't forget from OKC, 6-man, and then he said, "No, I'm better than a 6-man, and I can lead the team." Went to Houston, led the team, and then obviously he's on that sort of back end of his career, but he's still absolutely putting up numbers. I mean, he's carrying the Clippers. They've won back-to-back games in the last 2 days. They just beat the Warriors today on a back-to-back as well. Which is, no easy feat playing back-to-back in this league. And he led the team. So, he's doing it all himself at the moment and keeping the Clippers afloat while Kawhi's getting back to full health.
He missed out twice also making the finals. The first time was when he was in the West, when Chris Paul got injured, in the conference finals. I think it was like game 1 or game 2, and that was pretty much it. They were done after that. And then the second time was the bloody KD toenail on the line against the Bucks, where if they make it, they probably win it. So he got very unfortunate a couple of times. This guy's copped a lot of flack, and we've given him a lot of flack on this show. I know I've said prove me wrong about a gazillion times to James Harden in the finals, and we said, you think he's going to win, but he's not. But he's copped flack as well for when he put on all the weight and everyone was bagging him and they're like, this guy's finished, and then he just dominated after that. He's copped a lot of shit, but he's a great player.
Adam reckons poor Harden gets made to be a scapegoat too much. I reckon. Not a bad call. There's still time. He's probably still got a couple years left in him, especially maybe if he starts looking after his health and taking his nutrition really serious. He might be able to extend his career a little bit. He does look like he's taking that route. He's slimming down. He's sort of looks like he's looking after his body and doing the right things, and maybe not frequenting as many strip clubs as he did previously in his younger days.
Well, where he had the banner. He had the banner. His jersey was hung from the rafters in Houston.
But yeah, look, congrats. Obviously, second most all-time 3 points knocked down. Obviously behind Curry. No one will probably catch Curry.
No one's catching him
at this rate. By the time his career's done, but yeah, it's a big feat. You can't dispute it that he's been a great player for a long time. It's just been, as many players have, just been in the there or thereabouts to get that elusive championship ring, and just hasn't fallen his way. But he's leading the Clippers. As we mentioned, Clippers, what are they sitting here?
They're 8-7, 10th in the West at the moment.
10th. I mean, it's pretty good when Kawhi's out. I mean, if they stay at close to 500 and Kawhi's not even in the side yet, they're getting back. That's you only have to make 10th, as we say, to make it.
Bob Boozle goes, congrats Harden on making history in front of 300 Clippers fans.
There's only one team in LA, mate. That's the Lakers.
Let's get to the standings at the moment. We can run through a few of them, and then I've got some interesting news when we get to the team number 4 in the West. So we've got Oklahoma first in the West, Golden State second in the West, the Lakers a third in the West. You did mention something on the weekend. You said there was a certain guy that's no longer in the starting rotation, and you believe that is the reason why you're starting to win games. So I'm going to throw it to you quickly because it is your mob.
Yeah. Well, D'Angelo Russell, sorry, he just can't be in the starting lineup. If he's coming off the bench and he's given, playing against the second guys and, the second, the bench unit from the opposing team, and he's able to give us, 10, 12 points off the bench and pitch in with some assists and provide that punch when we have, LeBron or AD on the bench and give it that, bit of extra kick. I think that's his role. He just can't be a starter because he has too many lapses on defense. Dalton Connect's come into the starting lineup. He's playing really good the last 2 games. I think one of the games he even, shot over 20 points, which is, amazing for the rookie. JJ Redick's obviously given him a lot of confidence, being very much a similar player to JJ Redick when you look at right? Very similar styles in terms of
Yes.
shooter. Yes, can put the ball on the ground a little bit. It's got that, it isn't just a straight up shooter, right? But, that's primarily where catch and shoot is where, his game revolves around. I think JJ Redick's instilled a lot of confidence in him to, put him into the starting lineup, and he's played very well. So, look, I think the Lakers, I still feel like we still need one player. We're still lacking because I'm telling you, over a 7-game series, the others, the D'Los, the Rui Hachimuras, Austin Reeves, they're going to go missing at some point, and we're just not going to have enough punch to win some 7-game series against certain teams. Now, the start has mildly surprised me, Doma. I'm not going to lie. I thought the Lakers were going to be, pretty average this season. They've shown that, maybe, there's not hope, but potential to maybe get out of the West. We'll have to, a lot to play out still, and we need injuries to fall our way and everything. But I'm going to just say it's open. It's open. If LeBron keeps playing at this level, AD keeps playing at this level, and we can get the uptick from the others, and the defense can get back to where it was when we won the championship in that bubble season, anything can happen. But I will not jump the gun. The lid is firmly shut on the jar. There's no lid off here. There's 13 games played out of 82, Doma. There's a long to go.
No, it's good. It's interesting. It's good to see that your boys are playing really good basketball at the moment. Jono said, never realized how beautiful Doma is. He's changed it up this week. Go check how beautiful Jono looked in his double coverage beanie on the roaming source. That's what you need to go check. Bob Boozle says, praying they can repeat as mid-season tournament champions. Need another banner. LeBron needs another title.
And then he'll say first one to even do back-to-back in-play tournaments, in-season tournaments.
Adam, no. Winning the mid-season tournament is like winning the Champions League. What are you talking about, NAB Cup? It's a Champions League, mate. Hey, you played a tournament within your season. LeBron's got one Champions League. That's the way you got to look at it. Well, that's how LeBron looks at it. I can tell you that much. He goes, "Oh yeah, I won the first one ever."
I reckon LeBron was more happy about getting the 100,000, mate, than actually winning the chip.
100,000 was 500,000 a player.
Oh, was it per player? Oh,
yes, it was unbelievable. I watched that Starting Five show on Netflix, and LeBron's in it, like that reality show. It's like Drive to Survive, and it follows you when you last season when you won the mid-season cup, the NBA Cup. And LeBron was celebrating. He's like, man, it's always good to make history. It's the first time ever. And I won it first. No one's ever won this before. And I was just like, shut up.
The funniest will be in 5 seasons' time if they can it, and then there's no one else that can win it.
That's the best.
Actually, you know what? I'll say this, and I'll say this. I think it's not going to get canned. I think it's here to stay, the in-season tournament. And you know what, Doma?
It's actually games, sick with the courts, everything.
Courts, but those games, you know what? You actually see at this point in the season where you can get a bit of, it's a long season. They start slow. They're trying. You're getting intensity. You're getting intense games early on in the season. First 20 games of the season, they're playing with playoff intensity, which you just don't see. And I think it's part for the fact that each player wants to get 500 G's, half a million. It's a nice little pay packet.
They might have to do that in the All-Star game, mate.
They should put a financial incentive on it. I just feel like every player would want to win 500 grand. And it might actually make the All-Star game enjoyable to watch again.
No, All-Star game, mate. It's like let's just say it's like $2 million a player. You're an all-star. Who's not turning down $2 million each? Tell me, you're not going to try for $2 million each. If you don't, and the incentive is, if you don't try, you don't get the money. If you take the piss, straight out. Who's not trying?
They're going to do something. They're going to do something.
They'll do something. They'll fix something. Adam Silver, he's the oracle. I'm not even gonna go to some of these comments. Then we got next up is Houston, and the reason I'm not going to really go through anyone else in the West, but I wanted to bring up Houston because there's reports today that they're going to try and make a trade play for Giannis. I don't know if you saw this.
Okay.
Yes. So that's a bit of a watch this space source. Then we jump over to the East. Cavs are 15-0. They are dominating at the moment, followed by Boston 11-3. Orlando back into third. Knicks in fourth. Atlanta fifth. My Heat are in sixth, which is nice. Detroit in seventh. Indiana in eighth. Bulls ninth. Charlotte 10th. And then Bucks into 11th. They're one game from literally the sixth spot, mate. So, like I said, it's so early on in the season. But the team that is actually struggling is Philadelphia, and they are 2-11 at the moment.
And you know what, Tom? I'm just loving every fact that they're struggling because Joel Embiid's come back and it's done absolutely nothing. Obviously, you got to give him a few games, but it's done absolutely nothing. Max is still out, so they've obviously got him to come back. But yeah,
Potato playing, or
he's playing, but I don't know. I still cannot see them doing anything significant. I just don't see it.
The Oracle says if you put some BGS 10 Charizard Coles builders and Woolworth Disney card sets as prizes for the All-Star game, they might actually try.
Look, all I'm going to say is the bookies have still got the New York Knicks as the second favorite to win the East. I don't know.
Mate, Andrew said we're talking about the draft tomorrow night. No, we'll talk about it next week when it's all done and dusted. I'm not speculating, mate. The winner of the draft, I'll already tell you straight up who the winner of tomorrow night's draft is. The Brisbane Lions. Because they're getting Levi Ashcroft, and he's probably the best player in the draft. So there's no point, mate. You finish first. You didn't even get the number one pick, and
you still get the best player in the draft.
Yeah, you rob Richmond of the best player in the draft, just like Collingwood robbed Dacos of North Melbourne's number one pick when they had that, and they also robbed us of the other guy of Will Ashcroft when we finished last and we had the number one pick again. So it's insignificant. No one really cares, to be honest. It was actually about the trade season, who did really well there. We'll worry about these kids in 5 years' time. But, yeah, Brisbane wins the draft, straight out. If Levi Ashcroft doesn't get injured, you just go, oh, yeah, we'll just put another gun in the team. This guy took the piss in school football and Coates League football. So he's a machine. No, I'm not sooking, mate. I'm just saying, there's no merit in it. What's the big deal? Oh, we got Sheasel out of it, but
don't get me started on the father son, Domo. You know my thoughts on the father son. I think it's an outdated system, and it's all great. We want to see your players that have played in the past, their sons playing for the same club, but. In my opinion,
mate, I'm all for. You know what I'm all for? Open season.
I reckon it's an
outdated
system.
It'd be elite.
I reckon it's an outdated system. And same with the trading system. It's an outdated system. The players want to have all this power. Well, that's where some of the power needs to be put back into the clubs, and clubs should be able to trade players willy nilly without their consent if they're under contract and the deal fits the club as it benefits the club. You should be able to trade that player away. They want to go to Hawthorn. Nah, mate. Well, we're getting players from Fremantle. Too bad. You're going to Perth, bud. You're under contract. We're trading your contract. If you don't like it in Perth after 2 years, because that's what you got left on your contract, then find your way to Hawthorn when you're a free agent. That's the way it should be. This, sorry to say, it's so.
Because just imagine we take Will Ashcroft and we take Dacos. This is as an example. And we sign him for 3 years or whatever it is. 2 years in, we're trying to get a deal sorted. We know that they're going to, Dacos wants to go play at Collingwood. That was his father's club. Ashcroft wants to be at Brisbane. We turn around and we go, all right, we're going to trade you to Collingwood and we'll trade you to Brisbane. And we're going to get players for him, experienced players. We know Dacos is a gun, but, he's played good football. And we go, Collingwood, we're struggling for defenders and we need some more picks. We're going to finish at the bottom anyway. That's what you do. And you send them wherever. Well, you don't even have to send, like you said, you don't even have to send them to Collingwood. You go, fuck, he's dominated. This team's got the best option for us. I'm going to send it to Essendon because we want Jordan Ridley, for example. It's just like North needs a player like Ridley. We'll give you Dacos for Ridley. I don't know. They probably wouldn't give that. But you know what I'm saying? You just trade them wherever you want.
I understand. I think it should be like that. I don't know. It needs to be revised. Revised. And the father son's outdated, but I don't think it will change. The father son, it's been in for years. I don't think it will change, but nonetheless.
Anyway, you got us talking about. You got us talking
on AFL when we weren't supposed to. Let's
that's why he does it. He's a smart man, Andrew. He knows our way to get us rambling. But that's pretty much it for the NBA source. Actually, they don't have the cup standings on here. Let's find them. NBA Cup standings. We should just find out where everyone's at. Here we go. West Group A, Rockets are on top. Group B, Thunder on top. I think it's top two go through, isn't it? So Group A's Rockets, Blazers. B's Thunder, Lakers.
Where were you? Were you on Flash Score? They've got it. You click NBA Cup on the left-hand side. It's right there.
Do they actually?
Yeah, press NBA Cup, and then it comes up and you press standings.
Oh, here we go. Bloody hell. Yeah, you're just a gun, mate. That's why I got you, mate. You're all over it. Standings. Here we go. Let's see if I was actually looking at the right stuff. Let's start in the East. Orlando and New York on top in East A. East B, Bucks, Pistons. East C, Cavs, Atlanta. West A, Rockets, Blazers. West B, Thunder, Lakers. West C, Warriors, Pelicans. And ranking of second place teams, New York's on top and whatnot. Lakers in 6 there. But yeah, so traveling along nicely for a few clubs. All right, let's jump into the EPL quickly. It is just a preview. Games are back this week. The games are Leicester, Chelsea, Arsenal, Nottingham, Aston Villa, Palace, Bournemouth, Brighton, Everton, Brentford, Fulham, Wolves, City, Tottenham, Southampton, Liverpool, Ipswich, United, Newcastle, West Ham source. If Bob Boozer was in your chat, you know you've made it, said Brett. Well, he's in the chat, so we must have made it.
It's 4:10 a.m. Oh, we love the dedication, Bob. Thanks for tuning in, mate. 4:10 a.m. Geez, that was me this morning when the little one woke me up, Dom.
Speaking of the little one, I'm going to you're going to have to take the, we're going to jump straight to UFC quickly.
All right,
my little one's losing the absolute plot.
He's losing the plot. Go see what's happening. Let's see what's happening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got, I'll kick Dom off the show if I can. Hang on. How do I remove him? Remove some stage. I'll just make myself big. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we had UFC 309 over the weekend, and I will obviously bring up the share screen just so we can have a look at the results. 309, John Bone Jones against Stipe Miocic. I'm not sure if you caught it, but if you didn't, I'm here to review it. Go over the review. John Jones won third round knockout over Stipe Miocic with a spinning back kick, which then winded Miocic, and then he ended with a flurry of punches, and the ref called the fight off. Let's have a look at the statistics. Total strikes 104 to 42, 1 takedown to 0, significant strikes 96 to 37. It was a complete and utter domination, if you ask me. Stipe couldn't really do a hell of a lot. Round 2 was probably his best round. Round 1, he got absolutely pummeled. And then round 3, we all know what happened in round 3. So big win for John Jones. He has said after the fight that the only fight he wants is Alex Pereira. He does not want to, take any other fights. People are saying he's ducking Tom Aspinall or whatever it is. At the end of the day, and I'll say this, Doma, you can, as John Jones, as the GOAT, you can say whatever the hell you want. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. He's fought nearly everyone that was in front of him. In my eyes, the only fight that makes sense, the only 2 fights that make sense is Pereira, should that happen, and Francis Ngannou.
Correct.
Should that happen.
Correct.
That's in my opinion. So let's see what happens whether John Jones comes out again. I'm not sure if you've seen Doma after he won. He gave the little
Yeah,
Trumpy.
I did see that. I saw that.
Dance, and Trump was in the
It's
in the
very
crowd.
funny.
So it was very, very funny. You had Charles Oliveira defeating Michael Chandler. We'll have a look at the statistics. Total strikes 117 to 150. This is where he probably won the fight here. Takedowns 5-0. Submission attempts 2-0. Significant strikes were quite easy, even, but I think he won the fight just based off the fact that he took him to the ground 5 times. I mean, you get 5 takedowns to 0. The strikes were pretty even, when you have a look at it. But Oliveira obviously gained a lot of ground time, and that's where he won the fight on points. You had Bo Nickel defeating Paul Craig over the 3 rounds, unanimous decision. Vivian Aruju defeating Karen Silva over the 3 rounds, unanimous decision. Mauricio Ruffi defeating James Longtop over unanimous decision over the 3 rounds. And then in the prelims, Jonathan Martinez defeated by Marcus McGee over the 3 rounds in a unanimous decision. I'm not sure what happened here, whether that fight got caught up, but there's nothing there. Jim Miller defeating Damon Jackson, first round submission. David Onama defeating Roberto Romero, 3rd round. Went the distance by unanimous decision. Early prelims, Martian Taibura knocks out Jowanta Diniz with a doctor stoppage in the 2nd round. Then you got Ramiz Barimij defeating Mickey Gall, with a KO in the 1st round. Oban Elliott defeating Basil Hafef with a KO in the 3rd round. And then Eduarda Mora defeating Veronica Hardy with a unanimous decision over the 3 rounds. That was UFC 309. It was a banging card. It was good to see John Jones back. Let's hope, Doma, that that's not the last we see of him, and that potentially, there's more to come. And I'll just get to the card this week if this wants to.
Just a quick shout out, Matty Tabe, Mr. Corkings on Instagram. Has been a while. Hope you were well. We are going well ourselves. Just a few things in the chat. Will UFC start showing fighters buns after Tyson's Rio got so much buzz on social media?
That was pretty funny, wasn't it?
It was very funny. Hello, Magda. Welcome to the show. Brett says North are taking Finn O'Sullivan tomorrow 100%. Magda said he met the great Messiah at the Hobby Hangout. Vinny says AFL players never play in the game because they love it anymore. Scrap the draft and trades and just put spots up on Seek. That's very funny. That's very funny.
Oh, that's a good one, Vinny. So this weekend there's a card. It's Peter Yan against Divison Figueroa. This is actually a cracking fight for a fight night, Doma. So tune in. Peter Yan against Figueroa, and then the co-main event, Yan Xiaonan against Tabitha Riki in the women's strawweight. And then, there's a few other fights there to tune into. That kicks off from main card kicks off from 10 p.m. Saturday night. Where is this card? Oh, it's in China. Okay.
Ooh, interesting.
It's in China, this card. Wow. Okay. So the main card kicks off from 10 p.m. Saturday night. There you go. You can watch the UFC into the EPL. Just, you can't go wrong, can you, Dom?
I'll just be watching the EPL. Be watching United lose to Ipswich this week.
There we go.
New manager too.
Kick off from 7 p.m. So tune in. That one's obviously a fight night, so you don't have to pay for any pay-per-view or anything this weekend. Peter Yan against Figueroa. And obviously, Doma, we can't go past the combat sports section of the show without obviously talking about the biggest fight that there was other than John Jones and Stipe, and that was on the Saturday. Iron Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, the most scripted fight you ever see in your whole entire life. There was clearly a no knockout clause in the contract. And there was a few times there. I mean, people have gone back and dissected it where, Mike Tyson had the opportunity. He ducked, he weaved to throw big punches, and he just didn't throw the punch. Now, it's one thing to not to throw the punch and miss, but to get into the position and then not even attempt to throw the punch, it just seemed scripted. It seemed scripted.
Oh, so
Mike
you
Tyson
reckon it was
obviously very slow. He looked very,
you
very,
think it
very,
was
very
scripted
slow.
for Paul?
Yeah, scripted. It was scripted somewhat for Paul to obviously not take any damage,
Listen,
vice versa for Tyson to not be knocked out.
This guy, I think I said on the show last week, I can't remember what I said about this fight. I just brought it up as a joke, as a gimmick, because that's what it is. It's just a gimmick. But it was great to see Mike Tyson get fit and ready and go out there and fight. It's always great to see Mike Tyson, mate. Like, this is a legend of the sport. But, like, Jake Paul is younger, and it shows significantly, like, 30 years age difference is a big gap. But this guy has... I'll give him credit where credit's due. He has been training flat stick for X amount of years now, like boxing. Like he's taking it up not just as a hobby, but if everyone's seen that interview where he sits down with Eddie Hearn and he says you're average at best, and Eddie Hearn says to him, if you don't know who Eddie Hearn is, he's the boxing promoter. He turns around and he says to him, like, that's a compliment that you're an average fighter. That's a compliment. It's not a criticism. And Jake Paul says, I'm the best. Now, I saw his list of next people he can possibly fight and all this rubbish. And they're talking about, like, if he fights Conor McGregor, he probably beats him. I'm being serious. He beats Conor McGregor. If he fights KSI, it's not even a boxer. He beats him. That's just that's just a plug, a money grab. The McGregor one's a money grab. I Show Speed apparently was another name, and Speed turned around and said, he goes, I'm not doing that. He goes, I'll get knocked out. Why the hell would I take that? But then I look at legitimate people. Tommy Fury, do they do a rematch? We've seen it once. It probably won't happen again. Floyd Mayweather, no. It'd be the same thing as Logan Paul. Floyd Mayweather's still that bloody good. He'll just stuff around as an exhibition and whatnot. The two guys I actually want to see happen, right? And there's a reason why I want to see it happen. Terence Crawford and Ryan Garcia, because they're legitimate boxers. I genuinely think within the first round, he'll get knocked out in the first round. Potentially in the first minute and a half, if they take it seriously, they could knock him out. I'm talking 90 seconds. Source. It's like putting Jake Paul in a ring, in an octagon with what would be his weight against
middleweight
against Topuria. Yeah. It's like putting him in the octagon against Topuria. He'll be wiped off the face of the earth within the first 10 seconds. Straight up. Let's be honest. He's fought no one. It's all money grabs, and good on him. It's amazing marketing, first of all, and props to him. Man, he's making bank on all these things. He made $40 million for that. $40 million.
One thing I will say out of this, hang on, here we go. Bob Boozle. Jake Paul is doomed in a legit fight. He left so many opportunities for Tyson to get a fatal hit. I agree with you, Bob. If that was any sort of real sort of fight, maybe Tyson would have landed one of those punches. There was something in the contract to say, I'm winning. I'm going to win on a flurry of punches. You're going to land some punches, don't get me wrong. But if you have the opportunity to knock me out, don't throw that punch.
Yeah.
And that's the way it looked, optics. But one thing I will say out of all of this, and I'll have to give a big round of applause, Netflix. If Netflix this is what they're going to do, buy sporting events and then just give it to all their subscribers and not force them to pay a pay-per-view on top of their subscription.
They bottled it.
That's a game changer.
They bottled it. I don't know if you're aware. They absolutely bottled it.
Yeah, well, it's their first experience into it. They're obviously going to have buffering issues. They didn't know how many people were all going to log on at the beginning of the fight, did they? But after the second round, it was all good. And now they know for next time that obviously they're going to get their servers and everything up to scratch to be able to handle the bandwidth that they're going to need to provide for all the users.
I'm not a high level executive at Netflix source, but my recommendation would have been to stress test the stream if every single one of their users on planet Earth was going to tune in. That's how I would have stress tested it. Every single signed up user was to jump on all at once. What would it do to your servers? I don't know what they stress test with. Like, what did they put a poll out like they did in the US election that was completely false on how many people were going to tune in? Like, come on, man. I know it's teething issues, but I agree with you. Fantastic.
Yes, Bob, it did. It did.
Oh,
like we like to say on this show, if there's always a way to find it on the realms of the internet.
100% there is.
Watch things. But yeah, look, good marketing ploy. It is what it is. Let's see who he comes up against next. Let's hope that he does at some point take a fight against a real boxer. You know, I don't even want to see like him up against like an undefeated boxer. I just want to see him up against a boxer that's got a good, decent record. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want him against some scrub who's lost 10 fights and won 4. You know what I mean? You want him to come up against the guy that's maybe won 12 fights, maybe lost 3 or 4 fights, and who's actually been training boxing his whole career, sort of thing, right? And then see how he does. Because we've seen that when he comes up against an actual boxer, he loses. So
Adam says Juanito was more legit than Paul versus Tyson. Netflix is set to steamy thrillers for me. Brett says my Netflix is used exclusively for K dramas. That's great. I love it. Slither, Fatal Attraction. That's funny. Very good, Brett. Very good, Bob, and very good, Adam. Adam's making a case to get comment of the week put in the broadcast channel 2 weeks in a row with that one there. If you haven't, join our broadcast channel on Instagram, and we try and find the best comment throughout the night, and we will chuck it in the group. It's very, very funny. What else we got coming up? That's it for UFC. We'll quickly go to Formula One, Las Vegas Grand Prix this week, Sunday 5 p.m. So tune in for that one. Be a cracker. So if Max Verstappen wins the race, he wins the world title. So that's it.
Okay,
it's done. It's over.
I'm just interested to see the track. I just can't wait to see the track.
As we said last week, as long as there's no painted on attractions like in Miami where they painted the water, I'll be happy. So simple as that. All right, NFL results. Philly beat the Commanders, Vikings over Titans, Steelers over Ravens. That's a big win for the Steelers. Colts over Jets by a point, Saints over Browns, Rams over Patriots, Dolphins over Raiders, Lions over Jags, 52-6. Packers over Bears, 49ers lose to the Seahawks, Broncos beat the Falcons 38-6. Bills give Kansas City Chiefs their first loss, 30-21. Massive win for the Bills Mafia. The Chargers beat the Bengals 34-27, and the Houston Texans with CJ Stroud, the future GOAT, supposedly beat the Dallas Cowboys 34-10, and the Cowboys are practically finished. So,
Dom, there was sarcasm in that future GOAT, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't catch that, it's
we talk about on the weekend Desmond Ridder and all these other lemons that people thought. What Mac Jones?
What was the stat? There's 19 NFL quarterbacks that have been to a Super Bowl one time and never gotten back. So, you know, as much as you want to say about Burrow and you know, Purdy, and they've gotten there once before, I mean, it's not that easy to get back there again. You know, listen to that. You know, 19 guys have gotten there once in their career and never been able to get back there again.
Very interesting, Adam. Very, very funny. Love that comment. The F1. Julia on Instagram says C-Bum came second in the open show for bodybuilding. Interesting. That's Chris Bumstead. Games this week coming up. We got Browns, Steelers, Panthers, Chiefs, Bears, Vikings, Texans, Titans, Colts, Lions, Dolphins, Patriots, Giants, Bucks, Commanders, Cowboys, Raiders, Broncos, Packers, 49ers, Seahawks, Cardinals, Rams, Eagles, and Chargers versus Ravens. So not bad.
Let's hang on just before we move on, Dom. We'll just have a look at the standings, how that's looking.
Yeah, have a look at that. Have a crack.
Hang on, we want
I'm
to
just
have a
bringing
look at
up
division.
some other stuff.
I want to have a look at the visual standings. AFC East, you've got Buffalo Bills is on top. They look like they've got that sewn up. I mean, they're 5 wins ahead of Miami Dolphins, so that one's about locked in. You got the AFC North. You got Steelers and Baltimore. You got Steelers on top. Obviously, they got the win conference matchup, so that's plays good, well for them. Ravens are in second. I think it's out of Steelers or Ravens in that division. That's for sure. Then you got the AFC South. Houston Texans are on top. Colts are behind them, 2 games behind them. We'll see what plays out in that division. Then you got AFC West, Kansas City Chiefs. They're winning that. They're 9-1, and then you got the Chargers who are 7-3. And you got the Broncos who are 6-5. So that division is actually pretty well stacked with teams that are doing pretty good, but I think the Chiefs will get there in the end. You might get a wild card out of that one. And then you got the NFC. You got NFC East, Philadelphia Eagles on top, 8-2, and then the Washington Commanders behind on 7-4. It's out of those 2 in that one. You got NFC North. You got Detroit Lions 9-1, Minnesota Vikings 8-2, and the Green Bay Packers 7-3. And then you've got NFC South, Atlanta Falcons 6-5, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 4-6, and New Orleans Saints 4-7. That's an absolute stinker of a division. Maybe Atlanta can get there in the end. And then NFC West, Arizona Cardinals 6-4, San Francisco 49ers 5-5, Seattle Seahawks 5-5, and the Los Angeles Rams 5-5. Good luck picking that division. I couldn't even tell you who's going to win with the way these teams have started in the first 10 games. So that's the standings, Doma, and we'll move on to the next week.
Very nice, Sauce. I'm just searching I'm just doing some stuff here, getting some stuff up. We are up to Hobby Talk, which is good. Straight out, Sauce, your thoughts on the Hobby Hangout?
Yeah, so look, as we mentioned earlier, Domo, we took a bit of a different approach to the show. You know, I didn't really set up as much. I mean, I bought a few cards, but I didn't really bring my showcase. I sort of more took this show as a show to sort of go around and just chat to people. And you know, obviously we made our roaming source. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you check that out on our YouTube. That was good fun. But we just seen as an opportunity to go around and chat to people and just see how things are going for others in the hobby and in this space. And it was refreshing because we didn't have that sort of that overbearing sort of issue. Like when you do sit up at these shows and you put all your stuff out, like, you know, if you do go away from your table, I mean, you're always just a phone call away to getting called back because someone wants your cards and, you know, you got to cut a deal and then you got to, you know, you can't really leave your table for too long. It was so good this show. We could just like, yeah, let's just go wander around over there. Let's go watch these, you know, people breaking some cards over here for a while. Let's go have a chat to these blokes over here for a while. And you know, we made some new connects and, you know, obviously made some, you know, got some details or, you know, just for instance, like I've been looking for a place that, you know, is willing to do some cases of One Piece or, you know, some other TCG. And I found a, you know, a supplier that has quite a large allocation and I had a good chat to him. So, you know, he'll be able to hook us up with a One Piece case. Should I go down that route for OP09, which is, I'm maybe thinking of it. I'm about 60% thinking of buying a case considering the hits that can come out of it. So, you know, there was that, and, you know, it was good to see people that we hadn't seen for a while and you know, have a chat with them. And it was just more relaxed, a more relaxed feel for us at this show, you know, not having all else. And me personally, you know, usually I've got my case out and I've got my boxes, you know, my low end boxes and all that sort of stuff. So it was good to have that. I was able to find a few pickups, Doma, and bought a few things. So I'll show those in a second. But overall, the show itself
said the show made more money than Fanatics Fest.
We've heard about that, Bob Boozle. I'll mention it in a little bit, but the show was overall a success. I think most people were happy with the turnout. I think, you know, I don't know the official numbers of through the door. I didn't actually ask the security or that was counting at the front. I probably should have, but it was very busy. And like with every show, the first 2 hours, it's just mayhem. But, that's why we didn't do the roaming source live stream in the first 2 hours, just because it would have been impossible to move around. And, you spoke to the vendors. They said, yeah, it started like a house on fire and it's dwindled away. And I think that is also, partly because it just happens at every show. I think there's maybe an avenue to add another ticket level there, Dom. Add a $10 ticket and you can enter in after 12:30 or 1 o'clock. After 1 p.m., $10 ticket. Maybe you sell more tickets. Maybe you have people that go, no, stuff it, I'll just go at 1 p.m. because it's only $10 for the ticket. Like, I don't know, because by 1 p.m., a lot of people had left that even if you'd sold more tickets than only got your entry at 1 p.m., who cares if they came in at that time, because there was plenty of space. So I think there's an avenue to do something a little bit different there. Maybe making a late bird ticket. You got the early bird ticket, right? Always, the early birds. Everyone loves to put the early bird and charge more money. How about you put the late bird and then charge less money? I don't know, something different. Even charge $5 a ticket for people that come, from 2 p.m. onwards, because the show finished at 5, so you still got 3 hours in the show. And you're only paying 1/6 of the ticket price. Ticket price was $29.90, I think, full price. So, I think there's something that can be done to try drive a bit more traffic in that afternoon. But overall, I enjoyed the show. Once again, I always say this every time we go to that show, and everyone says the same thing. Now that we've seen the spaces that are available, such as, the Victory Room at Marvel Stadium where the Oz National was held, and the access that we've got there, it's, the Melbourne Pavilion's not the most card-friendly, place to hold a card show. It lacks lighting in places, and it's a bit squishy. So I feel like, the next step for the Hobby Hangout is to find a new venue. It's outgrown that venue. And, you never know, you find the new venue and maybe more people come just because ease of, access or just a better location. So there's that. But overall, for me, the show was a success, just in our ability to connect with people and have a chat and do our content. And it was great to give out packs. And obviously, shout out to Cherry and Dale at Cherry, who hooked us up with some Topps Chrome NBL boxes to give out to people and give out some packs for free. So we appreciate that. It's always good to, have people being able to support us in a little small way, so we can have some fun with the kids and other people that were at the show in our live stream. But yeah, Domo, what was your thoughts overall? I summed it up. I've summed it up pretty well.
You summed it up pretty well. Bob Boozle says if the place has bathrooms and air conditioning, then it beats the big one in the States. Well, it had air conditioning and it had bathrooms, so it actually has 3 sets of bathrooms actually. So yeah. And it was air conditioned. It was a hot day too, Bob. Very hot day. So yeah, it was done really well. Yeah, it was all seasons in one day here in Melbourne on Sunday. But I loved it. Walking around, getting to speak with people. We spent so much time just talking to people. And then the fun thing, honestly, was I was looking for a certain type of card or cards out there. And like Saucy was with me. He's looking for me. I'm looking for myself. But then I'm looking through bins. And it brought back the fun of like the double coverage. Like together, I'm finding Arsenal cards and I'm finding soccer guys that Sauce likes, or he's finding guys that I like. I'm like, oh, yeah, look at this. Blah, blah. Like when we are always selling at a table, we're pretty much bogged down there for the whole day. We can't get out and talk with people. Like we walked around, we bumped into Adam, we bumped into Magda.
We've done so many laps of it as well.
Bro,
like we didn't just go and do one lap like we usually do, and that's like a rushed lap. Like we walked around a solid 4 or 5 times, right?
It was
and
good
got
fun.
to
I actually enjoyed
every
it.
nook and cranny of the venue and everyone's table. I looked at everyone's table. Did I look for every card? No, I did not. It's just impossible. But yeah, it was brilliant. One thing I will say on some vendors, I think, there are a few vendors that set up there and their primary is, selling product and selling repacks. Those vendors there, in my opinion, you need to also have singles. Like, you can't just come there with repacks and product. Like, you got to have a balance of also having some singles there for people to look through, some boxes, some folders, something, right? Because it's all good to say you repack. That's great. Like, go for it. I'm all for repacks if there's transparency and there's good hits in there and there's value for money. But yeah, like the tables that you see where they only had product to sell and their repack, right? When I'm talking sealed boxes and their repack. I mean, I pretty much just walked straight past those tables. I didn't even really entertain having a look at what even the repack was, just because, I wasn't planning on buying a repack. Actually, I was going to plan on buy the repack. I was going to buy McLaren's cards repack because it had the chance to get the
Jordan rookie. But when we went around
there on the live stream, it already been pulled. So I wasn't going to drop $250 on a repack when the best card in the repack's already been pulled, right? So it's unfortunate, but look, that's probably the only feedback I have to sellers. Have singles. Bring out and more people need to bring out more lower end cards. Also some people, you walk past their cases and they're only selling $1,000 cards, $500 cards, $3,000 cards, $5,000 cards.
The best was one of the tables we walked past. I don't know if anyone that was there, but for those that weren't, man, it was funny. They had no case, cards just splayed out all over the table, and the back row was 15K, 20K. Yeah. And Sauce and I looked at each other and went, shit gets stolen from these shows all the time, and you just openly just want 20K, 15K cards out like on the table. You guys have got a death
just
wish,
sitting on the table, not in a display case, nothing. I'm like, you're mental. Like, literally the back row, if someone just did a snatch and grab, you would have got $20,000 worth of cards. Easy. Like, just nuts. Like, to do that, just don't do that. Don't be that guy at the card show. That guy actually is probably a lemon.
Vinny wants to know how was the deodorant factor, Sauce, because you gave a warning out last week.
Yes,
out of 10, what are you giving it?
Yeah, one of the better shows I've
smelly factor
for smell factor. I would give it a solid 7 out of 10.
That's pretty good.
On the higher side of hygiene was good.
Butt cracks. Many butt cracks. No butt cracks at these shows here, Bob. A few guts hanging out, but no butt cracks.
Yeah, there was a couple. Yeah. Look, don't get me wrong. I've got a gut, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not going around saying that I'm the most ripped bloke. But I'll tell you what, there was some serious guts. Like those ones where the t-shirt's not even big enough to cover the bottom half of the gut. So as they're walking, the bottom half of their guts just jiggling out the bottom of their t-shirt. You got to do something, gents. You got to do something. No good walking around like
that. Matt says, Saucy, do you want an Ashcroft DPS?
Can you give it to me for 150, cheaper than the other guy?
Sauce went for the greatest arbitrage opportunity of all time.
I did.
And he was going to arbitrage Maddie's card shop, and he goes, "Oh yeah, you're going to go buy this one and sell it to me," and then. And he's like, "Oh,
you knew exactly what I was doing."
Exactly, yeah.
He was on to me. He'd already been around there. That's why. He'd already been around and seen it.
Bob said, I like to be wowed at a show. Need to feel the urge to buy. I tell you what, that's the difference between the Oz National and this one, I felt. That's actually one thing. And I don't know if it's because there was a lot of people from interstate that came to the Oz National. So, there's more of a variety. But I'm telling you, the biggest tip we can give anyone, and we gave this to the Oz National, we'll give it to the Hobby Hangout when they do their super show next year. You need to go to the card community, not just interstate. You got to get the interstate guys over for a big show. But you got to go to Shane and get the AFL guys. Those old timers would dominate at a show like this because people going around going, "Oh, it's all TCG. Where's the AFL? Where's this?" So if you've got the option, it helps you massively.
That is one feedback we always have. There's so much TCG, and I'm just like, I get it. Like TCG is a massive part of this hobby. Like, you can't dispute it. And, like we even have a TCG dedicated expo that was on just a few weeks ago at the Melbourne Town Hall. So, yeah, I think there also needs that bit of balance. And, you got some people who set up shows, they try find that balance and try not to overload if they're going to be, solely a TCG. But at the same time, if you find a big enough space, Doma, everyone should be welcome, right? If you want to set up in your TCG, hey, set up. If you want to set up in your AFL sports, set up. If you want to, set up and you only sell freaking, the Disney cards from Woolworths or whatever.
Sorry.
Like whatever you want to sell, right?
Or Coles Builders Pokemon.
Coles Builders, the Coles Builders Pokemons. So look, I think something needs to be done about the space. The show itself was still good. Still run well. The food vans are always killer that they supply and get in there. Love a Leon Smashburger. Obviously, shout out to them. Always put down one of those at the Hobby Hangout. But yeah, it was a good show. It was good to see people have a chat and get around. But yeah, we look forward to the next one.
We'll give some shout outs, of course, when we go through this. But Magda says the Messiah was great to meet in person. So if you came across the double coverage table at the show on Sunday, you would have found the Oracle, which is just normal at every card show when double coverage over table. But then you would have found this guy in a USA guest singlet with his nipples hanging out. And it was with his glasses hung on his shirt, on his singlet, which the neckline on the singlet finished at his belly button. That's how low it went. But that was the card Messiah. And I tell you what, everyone was up and about and happy to meet him in person. And I didn't say this to him because I think he'd feel a bit embarrassed about it. But I'll be honest with you, Source. As crazy as this is going to sound, all right, this could sound absolutely. What happened?
I'm cracking laughing. So, James, we gave him shit. No word of a lie. We seen him. We're like, we said to him, I said, mate, you have to give us the card. We give it to us and we will post it to the winner. I said, but he goes, mate, he'll get the card. Don't worry. He'll get. I'm like, well, mate, it's been 1 year. Like, are we going to get it or not? He says he's still got the card, James. So,
listen,
yes, you're still getting the card.
I'll tell you a funny story, James. I actually said to him, he pulled out these Darth Mantle, and I said to him, he pulled out 2 sealed Darth Mantle boxes, and he put them up there to sell. And I said to him, I'm taking one of those. One of them's for James. He goes, nah, James's one's at home. I've got to get it sorted. And that's when Sauce is like, mate, just give it to us. To make you feel any better, all right, he's owed you that card for what, James? 6 months? Nah, I don't reckon a year. 8 months. 8 months, I reckon.
Anyway, it's getting close to a year.
Try 18 months.
18 months.
All right, I didn't get my Beckham jersey that I have to get, but I finally got the Leroy Sané from Manny, who sent this to Jay at the National last year. Yes.
Yeah, not the National this year. The National last year he gave it to Jay.
So I finally got it. All right. So don't feel too bad. You still got 10 months, mate, till you get your card. Minimum. But I didn't say this to Jay because, as I was saying, he'd probably be a bit embarrassed by it. But people might think I'm crazy when I say this. But Jay doesn't realize how important he is for the hobby. He doesn't. He's a great person. Everyone loves him. He talks that much crap on the hobby, but deep down inside his dark heart and his bad feelings towards the hobby, mate, he loves it, and he loves all of you. He loves it. He loves people. So meeting all of you, he loved it so much. He didn't know Tyson Beck. He met Tyson Beck for the first time. And then he wouldn't leave Tyson alone. He was just pestering him.
They worked out that they were having a go at each other one time on Facebook as well. That was pretty funny.
It's pretty funny. Like he's very important. I don't think people get it. he's an unsung hero. He is. He'd be embarrassed by that, and he'd say, "Nah, it's all just stupid cardboard. It's all worthless. Blah 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 blah."
Yeah, he
But
says the same line.
he's still got it in his collection.
Yeah,
Like,
he's still got
and
stuff.
then he had like some cards there, and I'm like, "Why aren't you putting these for sale, Jay?" And he's like, "No, these are for my PC because I want to do this." I said, "PC? What do you mean you're keeping
What do you
some
mean,
of these
PC? You
cards?"
told me you want to get rid of all the shit. You know,
So that's what I said. Deep down inside, mate, he's got a soft spot for cards. He's got a soft spot, and I tell you, he wants to do a round table. If a person doesn't want to be in the hobby, they don't want to sit and do a double coverage round table, mate. So he's a great man. We love
Yeah,
him
we're
dearly. He's
hoping to
become a
obviously
good
get
friend
that
of
off
us. So,
the ground before Christmas. The Christmas
well, we're
special
gonna do a
round
Christmas
table.
special. We're gonna do a
That's what
Christmas special.
we're gonna aim
Yeah.
for.
Much-
We're hoping it. You know, we're hoping maybe a Saturday morning because obviously it'll be a bit more friendly for US audience. But yeah, hopefully it would be good with the Messiah and Dan the Card Man. We'll get on the live stream.
Jaden on Instagram says, any news on Hobby Hangout Adelaide and or Brisbane 2025? No news on the Brisbane one, but I heard a little bit about Adelaide saying that it's possible that it's going to get done. So that's what I heard. But the big show in Adelaide is the Adelaide Card Show.
Yeah.
So that's in April.
6th.
April 6th.
April the 6th. Yes, we know that for a fact. April the 6th, Adelaide Card Show, which is obviously organised by Stephen from F5 Collectibles. He does a great job. We've seen he was at the show on the weekend and we stopped and had a chat to him. It was really, really great. And, you know, he said they had 1,300 people through their last show. So, you know, that's great numbers. I mean, that's great numbers. You know, the Oz National had 1,600 pre-sale tickets. So, you know, and that's for, you know, what's supposed to be the Oz National, you know, first one, that being that. Hopefully next year they set the date a lot more in advance and gives people a lot more time and we might get 5,000 pre-sale tickets. That'd be amazing. But yeah, that's the show, Adelaide Card Show. Make sure there's a Facebook group, I believe, SA Card Collectors. I think it's called SA Card Collectors. I believe that's literally the name of the group. So make sure you're in there. And you know, he obviously posts all the news about the latest card shows. That card show, I should say, not the Hobby Hangout. But it is good to see that the Hobby Hangout is expanding to Adelaide and giving them a show. Because it's needed. There's a market for it there. You know, Stephen's able to sell 1,300 tickets to his show. You know, maybe Hobby Hangout with their name and the brand that they've got, maybe they are able to, you know, sell even more tickets and provide a great show for the people over in SA.
For sure, Saucy. Just a quick one because there's a few people like. We spoke about Jono. Cherry, thank you again for the boxes to give away. Card Fever do a great job. Who else we got there? McLaren Cards we mentioned. I don't know. If I'm probably you can't comp this pod as well. We're there podcasting live from the show. The boys were nice enough to get us on their show for a quick few words. So thank you to them. The Hobby AU. So the Hobby Australia, so it's Elaine and the crew there. They always do a great job. Tyson, of course, always great seeing Tyson. Apologies that I couldn't catch up with you post show, but definitely take that rain check and we'll definitely do something. But props us to go out to one guy source, all right? And it was in the roaming source. And we didn't say this on camera. Source actually had a really, really good interview with Luke from Trident Collectibles. He's doing amazing things. He told the story about the Lamine Yamal 101, which we spoke about on the show a couple of weeks ago. His setup was unbelievable. They went live on Whatnot. It was unbelievable. But Sauce and I, no offense to anyone else doing breaking in Australia, all right? No offense to anyone else, all right? This is just our honest opinion. We'd finished the stream. We saw Lukey setting up at Trident to go live on Whatnot. So we go up and, like we said, we're just wandering around, Sauce and I. So we said, let's go watch him, mate. The best breaker in the business, straight out. He might not have the biggest following as some of the other breakers in the business, but he was Source said it, summed it up beautifully. He was born to do this. Born, mate. He put on the speed dealers, mate, on the whatnot. He's just so entertaining. Honestly, so entertaining. He knows the product. The people that work around him know the product. Unbelievable. So
and his pronunciation of obviously the names, the soccer players and so on, it's amazing. You know, the way he rolls his R's and really
like Lucy Zelic style. Like World Cup with Foz.
He really gets into it. He's just so entertaining. I'll say this to anyone: if you just want to watch some breaks for just pure entertainment, tune into the boys at Trident Collectibles, because and we can't guarantee that Lukey will be the breaker at the time, because they're going to have different breakers. But tune in, because I'm sure enough you'll catch him. And mate, he's so entertaining. I've always said it since the first time I ever seen him break. Probably 3 years ago, first time I ever watched him break. And till this day, he's so entertaining. And the whatnot factor, the way, whatnot does things with the auction, and the way he was counting down the bids with the auction. It was just, I felt like I was at an auction of a house, they go like that. And that's what it was like. It was just the way he was just building up the anticipation, getting people to bid in with it. Even though, that's how whatnot is, right? So yeah, it was good to see. So obviously shout out to them. And we'll be following. We have found, obviously, if you didn't watch the live stream, the Roaming Source, go watch it now, but not now, after the show. But he did tell us in the live stream that the Lamine Yamal had an offer of 100,000 Australian, turned down by the lucky hitter, and it is now been graded and consigned to Golden to go on auction in one of their premier auctions. So we'll be following that when it goes to auction. We'll obviously be following that, and we'll follow that on the show and report it, what it actually goes for. We'll just say this once again. I'm not sure if you realize why we're following this Lamine Yamal so much. Not only did our good friends at Trident Collectibles hit it, we've had a lot to do with them in the past, and the boys there, they run a great breaking service and do a great job. But it was hit out of a blaster, Dom. And what did I say? There is still hope in the hobby. The fact that a Lamine Yamal Superfractor 1-of-1 rookie has been hit out of a blaster that is $60. It's a $60 blaster, Dom. So you could have bought that blaster for $60, $70 or whatever it is, $100, maybe $100. I don't know what they go for, but it wouldn't be more than that. And you could have hit a $100,000 card. That's what I say. The hobby, there's still hope for the hobby when big cards like that are being hit in retail blasters. It just goes to show that, the companies aren't feeding all of the, hits to the big breakers and putting it all in hobby boxes or the high-end boxes. You can still buy a retail box and hit a banger card and change your life pretty much, right? Imagine, you hit a $100,000 card. That's life-changing, right?
Bro, it's mental. But yeah, he's a gun, Lukey. He's a machine, man. So good luck to them. If you want to find out when their shows are running, just head to their Instagram page. I need to be better with that. I was actually telling Luke, mate, I didn't even know until Saucy told me about the pool. Mate, our algorithm on Instagram, none of their stuff was coming up. So it was just so annoying.
The key is, ladies and gentlemen, if there's stuff that you're not seeing because, the algorithm on Instagram is playing a bit funny business with you got to go to those people and you got to put them in your close friends, right? And if you put them in your close friends or make them like a favorite or something, it pushes their stuff to the top of your timeline, especially if, like me, I'm following 2,000 accounts. So, it's a lot of people. So, there's certain...
They're live at the moment too. So they're live breaking baseball at the moment on whatnot. So I'll be honest, I'm not a baseball guy, so I'm not going to tune in and watch that. But you can go watch their past shows as well. So if you want to go hit, as Adam mentioned here, a number to 5 dual Man United patch, you can go check that out on the past streams. Reptile, welcome. Hello. that Dan behind that account? Hope you're going well, bro. Luke and Geordie are so good. Yep, they're machines. That's it for the Hobby Hangout. Far out, man. Show and tell. No, we're not done. What did you pick up, Source? Let's quickly go through these because we've actually got a few things we need to talk about, to be honest, because a bit's been happening.
All right. So give me 1 second, Domo.
I got one pickup. I had one pickup. So
show yours first, and then I'll go.
How do I go big on this bloody thing again? Yeah. So my pickup, Trident Collectibles, funnily enough. It was a 21-22 finest Champions League yellow prism refractor PSA 9. Mate, when I say finest and it's UEFA Champions League and it's a soccer card, there's only one guy I'm buying and one guy only, and it was this guy right here. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Pick that up for the boys.
Like, no question. Who else am I going to pick up, Source? And, of course, I got this, my Sane from Manny. And you never know what you're going to find. Jay had one of these, and I took it off of him. But Bleecker trading hat. Of course, as you know, when I was in New York a month ago now, which it's bloody flown how quick that's gone, I went and visited the boys at Bleecker, and their hospitality was amazing. So, yeah, Jay had one of these. He picked them up at the National when he was there, and I was just like, yep, I'm 100% taking that from your hands if you don't want it. And he's like, yep, all yours, mate. Adam Doma couldn't find the Coaster Greenwood card. Yeah, because Rod wasn't there. And I didn't have time to go to the table at the Oz National looking for my Greenwood coaster. I don't know where it is. So, your pickup, Source.
All right, Doma. Sorry, 1 sec. I just had my mate messaging me something important, so I was quickly getting rid of that. All right, we're on. My pickups, Doma. I'll just go big screen. Here we go. Put my big mog there. Here we go. So we got first one. I picked up this Arturo Vidal, number to 99, and it's game used patched, I believe. License. Oh, I got shafted. Not associated. Shit. Didn't read the fine print, so stuffed up there. So, oh well. Lucky I only paid $10 for it. It's not associated, so really it's worth 50 cents. This was a good pickup, though. This was a Jalen Green rookie ticket. No order or anything, but just color match, red. It's not numbered. I picked it up for $10. Can't go wrong. I think last sales on that was $20. So I got it for half of what the last sales were. Picked up this beautiful $10 Donnarumma. Beautiful game. And the best part is, I know it's a sticker, but the auto is fully on the sticker. So it would be a 10 auto, if you ask me. And a Donnarumma, $10. Can't go wrong. It's in the Italian kit. So that was a nice little one, right? Then I had the Meta World Peace. Pick this one up. Meta World Peace. Lakers. And this one here is enclosed game-worn material. This is from 2013. Panini Crusade, the set. The camera's not really focusing very well, so I can't really show people too well. It's got a lot of reflection. There it is there. And that picked up that one. Then I picked up this. This was a bit of a funny one, but I just liked it, obviously, with the game used patch. Got Pau Gasol. And you think it's a Lakers card, but it's actually a Bulls card, right, from when he played for the Bulls. But he's got the Lakers uniform, and he's got the Lakers jersey in there. That would be Lakers, and it's color matched to the Lakers that's on there. So I thought, you know what, championship player, Lakers from the Kobe era. Watch those championships. Why not get that? And then I picked up this one from the Oracle. He hit this in a box, and he said straight to me, I was the first bloke he asked. He goes, do you want this? And I said, yes, I do. And it's a Zach Merritt patch card out of Supremacy, number to 70. And that's game-worn patch in there. It's a beautiful patch, if you ask me. And the best part is, Doma, I don't live that too far from the hangar. So I'll go down to a training session, one preseason training session. I'm just trying to figure out what color marker would be nice on the bottom there. And I'll get that signed along the bottom there where his legs are, on card auto. And instead of paying $1,000 or whatever his on card autos, patch autos go for, I'll get one for, I think this card cost me $200. I think I paid $220 for it, which is $200, sorry, which is a very good price. The last solds were $250. Obviously, the Oracle looking after me with that one, giving it to me well under comps. And that's the benefit of obviously, knowing the person. They know you're an Essendon fan, collector. They'll give it to you a bit cheaper, just as well, because they're your friend and they know it's going in your collection. So you got those little perks, but still paid a reasonable price. Last solds were $240 and $250. So it gave me probably $50 cheaper than what the last sold was. But I'm very thankful because now I can get an awesome on-card auto with that for a fraction of the price.
Well, Magda said, find Zach Merritt at a card show and get him to sign it. That's a valid point.
Yeah. Either that or I'll go down to the training sessions. So don't worry about that. And I know he's at a few card shows, so there's always that. Maybe over the next Melbourne card fair that's up and about, I'll make sure I bring it down. You never know when he's going to pop up. But yeah, that were my few pickups, ladies and gents. And I had one other card that I had my eye on. It was at the Hobbies AU table. It was a Kobe Bryant Noir patch. I think it was numbered to 49. 3-color patch, game used. It was just a beautiful card. I think the price they had on it was about $620. Last sold was closer to the $450 mark, but you could have maybe worked out a deal. But I just decided at that point I'd spend a bit of money, and I was just like, I'd read my budget. You got to have a bit of a budget when you go into these things. You can't just go in there open minded. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you got the funds behind you, do whatever the hell you want. But when you got to sparingly, manage things in a way, you can't just go in there and be dropping $1,000 on $1,000 cards just because you want the card. If it's not in your plans of where you are, sort of in your hobby budget, then you just have to walk away sometimes.
100%. All right, next one up, Source. That's a good wrap up of the Hobby Hangout. It was a fantastic show. So the next one, and I know you got 2 days to get your shit sorted for this. All right, you got 2 days, and I hope you got the money for it because you have 2 days because it got announced today. But it's dropping on the 21st of November. And if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, the person to my left right now, probably to your right or my actual right, is in love with the sport of darts. Absolutely in love.
I've seen this. You sent this to me today. Yes.
And this is the Luke Littler, the young sensation in the darts world. He has his first ever premium Luke Littler set, contained 4-in-case cards inside a premium presentation case. Beyond a guaranteed on-card auto, each premium box will include number parallels relic cards featuring pieces of Luke Littler's actual shirt. So here we go. I'm going to show you.
And also match used flights.
Yes. Have a look at this. Source is going all out here. Look at this.
He's an absolute freak. He just won the Grand Slam of darts. Absolutely dominated in the final as well.
There he is.
He's a 180 machine. He's a 180 machine, this bloke.
There you go, mate.
I've said it before on this show. I said, watch out for the sport of darts. It is coming up phenomenally. And what do Eddie Hearn was on the Patrick Bet David podcast, and he went on to say, Eddie Hearn's company owns the PDC, the Professional Dart Corporation, and that's the governing body of darts. And it's the second most watched sport behind the English Premier League in the UK.
Yep.
Second most watched.
Yeah.
So, the market is there. They already play world tournaments at different countries around the world. They come to Wollongong. They came to Wollongong this year, and they're coming again next year to Wollongong in Australia for the Australian Dart Masters. It's huge. It's huge. And what did I say to you, Dom? I'm surprised no one has picked up the PDC as
You
a
did- you
license to
did-
make cards.
You
And
did
funny
say
enough,
this.
we literally 2 days later, Topps comes out with a Luke the Nuke set.
Oh, unbelievable. It's perfect for you, mate. So there you go. Another big announcement also just prior to jumping on the podcast was the news of Select AFL Legacy Ultimate. So this release date is on the 27th of November, which is this weekend on Sunday.
$3.59 a box looks
Sorry.
priced.
27th of November isn't Sunday. It's next Wednesday.
Oh, next Wednesday. All right.
Yeah,
So
next Wednesday is the release date. $3.59 per box. There's team packs, gold packs per box, card team. Anyway, all the stuff is here. Jump on their website. But there's a few interesting things. They've got the draft SIGs, copper, gold, platinum. They've got Hall of Fame signatures 1 in 2 boxes. It's either you get a Hall of Fame inductee non-signature or you get a Hall of Fame inductee signature. 1 in 2 boxes source, which is pretty good. Hall of Fame legend signature is 1 in 71 boxes. You can jump obviously onto their Facebook as well. I'll play this. It's got just so we can have a look at what the card. That's the box. Here's a base card. Let's see if I can skip along. There's the honors. Yeah, ripping some packs. Very nice. Rising Stars. There you go. What's this card? All Australian. They're nice looking cards. Very nice. Jonathan Brown, Chris Judd. That's the honor roll. That's the Hall of Fame honor roll card. The cards look nice, Source.
Yeah, you can go watch the video that they've put on their Facebook page, and you can check out the cards. But
there's a draft.
It's got the draft pick signatures. Yeah, this is the one that you want to get, right? This is one of the sets that you want to get. You know, it's got the influential. It's got the legacy in there. What's that? 300 game redemption. I think
that was a Tim Watson. That was a Tim Watson redemption order.
Yeah. So you've got some Legends redemptions. I mean, for $3.59 a box, the quality of cards, all on-card autos. I mean, if you're looking at like a basketball set or something like that, mate, this box is like probably a $2,000 box, man. $2,500, and Select's putting this sort of quality out for $359. It's just unmatched, if you ask me.
Magda says 2 boxes per person.
Yep.
2 boxes per, and he said if you've got a Select membership, you can get your boxes before this Saturday, 7 p.m. So tune in there. Very nice. I think we're pretty much done, except for one thing. You would have noticed, ladies and gentlemen, that in the title of the show, it says a review and 1K subs. Now, the reason we said 1K subs, you might think this is actually planned. I don't know what the hell is going on with our YouTube channel, because we did say at 1,000 subs, all right, it would activate our Christmas giveaway, and we're going to give away the case. I'm not going to bring it up. I've shown it every week, trying to push us to go and share the page. I don't know what's going on, and it's not a Hobby Hangout thing, but it just coincided to happen the exact same day post the Hobby Hangout after we went live on the
there it is,
roaming source. We've got 865 subs. We've gone up 500 subs plus in a day. I don't know what's happening.
Someone spammed us. Manny's paid for subs. Manny's paid for subs.
Probably. I actually don't. Ladies and gentlemen, I actually don't know. Source doesn't know. We're actually baffled. We don't know what is going on. We don't know if we were potentially shadow banned and it's been lifted and we're slowly getting subs filtering in over the last 4 years that we haven't got subs, because, we have stepped on a fair few toes on this show. I have no idea. James, the giveaway is we have a sealed case of 20. Let me just double check it again.
No,
21.
James, not like the Messiah. When we give stuff away, we actually give it away. Like when I gave away my stuff on that stream, that found
That's it, Magda.
To the person.
Get your cousins to share the sub, and then tell your cousins to tell all their mates. No, we're not going to do a Messiah. We're going to give away. We've mentioned it before. If we get to 1,000 subs, I'll drop the Instagram tile and it'll tell you everything you need to do. But if you're not in the broadcast channel, I would go and just enter into the broadcast channel now. I'm just giving you some tips before I even have to set the terms and conditions. So all you need to do is like the post and tag a few people. That's all you need to do.
And be in the broadcast channel, ideally.
Yes, that's what I mean. You need to be in the broadcast channel.
Broadcast channel to as many as people as we can.
We're actually starting to put stuff in there that we don't post on the regular IG. So it's a bit of behind the scenes type stuff too. Our thoughts on certain things. If we see things, we start posting things, sport-wise, hobby-wise, you name it. If you have things for us, we put things in there. Yeah. So at 1,000 subs, we hit this bloody milestone. I'll drop the thing. I don't know what the hell's going on. We're at 865. I don't know if someone really wants this giveaway to happen, so they're paid for subs. Source, that your thing is actually not up to date. It's actually at 890 now.
Oh, okay.
So we're 110 away. I don't know what the hell. Ladies and gents, I don't know what is going on. I don't know. But we're happy for it. But
it was the Netflix glitch round one. They switched to you guys during the interruptions.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what's happened. I actually think that's what's happened. Everyone's tuning into bloody double coverage. Can't answer it. Got no ideas what the hell's going on. But Sauce and I are obviously super grateful. It looks like we're going to trigger this this giveaway, and we're looking forward.
We did want to trigger it by Christmas, so
it's going to happen.
Then we crack the case, do the giveaway, and we lose all our subs.
Yeah, that's what'll happen. Yeah, because the subscription, it's like valid for 1 month. We'll do it, and then after a month, you just lose them all. So yeah, because probably that's what I mean. Someone's paid for them 1 month only. Give this channel this many things. It's very funny. But anyway, we're just grateful for it, and grateful you all tuned in once again. So it was a bit on the cards for this show. So thanks for sticking around. We had a good viewership throughout the whole thing. So thanks for tuning in. Keep living, loving, and breathing sport. It's double coverage. I'm Dom with the great man Sauce. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff.
Share,
peace
get us
out.
To 1K.
Get us to 1K. Perfect. Peace.
That's the next one.
Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports. Double curve.